Welcome to the Janolan-Dyson Sphere. The situation in the Delta Quadrant is continuing to develop. We will need the assistance of all our allies to stay ahead of it.
Admiral Tuvok has requested that you meet Voyager in the Solaran system. I believe he requires your assistance with a personal issue. While you're there, you should be able to get a briefing on the current state of the Delta Quadrant.
It's been 32 years since Voyager finished its journey.
We thought we had left the Delta Quadrant behind us.
We were wrong.
The gateways to the quadrant are open.
And the choices we made have long-lasting effects. Now, we will help the friends we left behind.
And fight the rising darkness.
Voyager's first trip through the Delta Quadrant was a solitary one.
We must return to set things right.
This time, we must unite to survive.
Greetings. Admiral Tuvok is waiting for you in the conference room. Welcome aboard. And if I may say so, it's good to see you again. Between doomsday devices and the Delta Quadrant, it looks like we get all of the interesting assignments. If you'll come with me, I'll take you to Admiral Tuvok. He wants to see you right away. It's good to see you too. Someone decided that with our experience with that, borrowed bird of prey, I'm the perfect person to handle joint operations with the Klingons out here in the Delta Quadrant. I even got a promotion. as you can see. What would you like to know? Voyager spent 7 years in the Delta Quadrant, and during that time many of her systems were optimized to deal with the hazards out here. This old girl's still got a few tricks. Besides, Admiral Tuvok specifically brought Voyager out for this mission, and what the Admiral wants, the Admiral gets. What would you like to know? Sorry we don't have time for a tour, but the Admiral insists he needs to speak with you right away. The Admiral is waiting for you in the ready room.
Greetings. Thank you for coming so promptly. We do not have much time, and I require your assistance. I am still under telepathic assault by the Undine we know as Cooper. He has found some means to greatly increase his psionic power, and I cannot withstand his assault indefinitely. I will need your help to repel Cooper's attack and counter him. What else do you need to know? My mind to your mind. Your thoughts to my thoughts.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? First, I need to make sure you're not contagious or suffering from any injuries. This will only take a moment. Don't be difficult. I'm only doing my job. Engineers and captains, always in a hurry to get out of sickbay. You're not going anywhere. Doctor's orders.
Enemy targets on sensor.
Can you hear me? Come speak to me at the desk terminal. The mind meld was successful. Excellent. I am currently trapped in the ready room. For the moment, I will only be able to communicate with you remotely. Cooper is working to subvert my mental defenses, and I must focus my concentration on keeping my mind intact. No. Cooper is trying to erode my emotional control. Symbolically, this means that he must destroy Voyager. To do so, he is attempting to overload the warp core. You must proceed to engineering to stop Cooper from destabilizing the warp core. If he is successful, he will have broken down my mental control systems. Once the core and my mind are protected from Cooper's attacks, then we can take control of this mindscape. Take the pad from the doctor's office. I will use it to communicate with you as you proceed. Good. Now we will be able to remain in contact. Proceed to engineering. Cooper is attempting to subvert my mental defenses by replacing my memories with engrams from his bioship. Until he is expelled, these kinds of incursions will continue. You may see strange items or distortions in your surroundings. Ignore them and proceed as best you can. Remember Kiri Kintha's first law of metaphysics. Nothing unreal exists. Cooper is trying to overload the warp core. You must keep it stable. The mindscape is a simulacrum. Cooper may move elements to suit his needs, or try to stop you. Certain areas may be blocked or damaged, or even transformed. Do your best to reach your destination. Cooper cannot simultaneously attack an area and conceal it.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? This area is very dangerous. The core is unstable. I've almost got this. Just keep back. It will only take a few more minutes. B'Elanna, I don't know. She should be here, but as far as I can tell, everything on Voyager's about to fall apart, and I'm the only one here. Stay back. I'm going to put a force field around the core while I try to stabilize it. It won't contain a core breach, but it might block some of the radiation if the magnetic stabilizers give out. You are stupid, aren't you? Only people the Vulcan melded with should be here. Not everyone on Voyager is part of Tuvok's warped little subconscious. Some of us are far more exceptional. I'll destroy you, and Tuvok's mind with you.
Shield losing power. Flanking damage detected.
He has raised defenses to protect himself. Use one of the engineering consoles to press your attack.
Enemy targets on sensor. Personal shield losing power.
He has raised defenses to protect himself. Use one of the engineering consoles to press your attack.
Enemy targets on sensor.
Quickly use the controls to restore the warp core. This will strengthen my mental defenses. Excellent. With my mental defenses stabilized, we should have additional time to fend off Cooper's intrusion. Head to the crew decks. Inside of my memories exist fragments of personalities from any person with whom I have previously experienced a mind meld. You may be able to find someone whose personality is not wholly part of my mind, and thus not susceptible to Cooper's influence. Move through the crew decks to your right. You may be able to find a fragment of a personality who can help. People with whom I have previously melded have left impressions of their Katras.
What is happening? What am I doing here? Who are you? I require specifics. Answer me. I have no reason to trust you, but this seems familiar somehow. Why am I in the crew quarters? I should be in my regeneration alcove.
7. You are currently experiencing an engrammatic regress as a result of a Vulcan mind meld. You must assist me in reasserting control over the meld. I am currently locked in the ready room next to the bridge. Exercise caution as species 8472 has subverted the vessel.
That is Borg technology. But the presence of the Collective will not dissuade us. Assimilation is irrelevant. assimilated Undine. It may be a reflection of the unconscious fears of Species 8472.
Oh, you're here. Let's just get this over with.
Personal shield losing power.
I will secure the bridge while you release Tuvok.
With Cooper defeated, he should no longer be able to maintain the telepathic link with my mind, for the time being. We must end the mind meld and consider our next course of action. Now that we have removed Cooper's influence, it is time to break the link between he and myself. With Cooper's attack temporarily halted, we are in a position to slow the advance of his Undine forces. Please accompany me to the bridge. We still do not have a fix on Cooper's whereabouts. I will contact Starfleet for any current information about Undine movements. Use the sensors to check for their quantum signatures. Voyager's sensor array is currently calibrated for tracking Undine movements, so you should be able to garner results quickly. You should return to your ship. While I am somewhat fatigued as a result of the mind meld, I believe that I can continue in my duties on Voyager while we plan our next steps. We must still be in the meld. Cooper is trying to deceive us. He needs to break the link cleanly, but lacks the strength to confront us directly.
You don't belong here.
Enemy target on sensor. Personal shield losing power.
We should use the link to our advantage. If we can track Cooper through the link, we can then pursue him in the physical realm. Since the mindscape deals in symbolic representations, we need a map to his location. We should... Cooper is trying to block your progress. Look for another path.
Enemy target on sensor.
In 2375, Voyager encountered a malfunctioning board vinculum that had been turned into a trap by species 6339. This vinculum caused other personalities from the collective to surface in 7 of 9. I entered a mind meld with her in an attempt to stabilize her personality. These people are echoes of the personalities of people assimilated by the Borg. They are not truly aware, knowing only that they desire to escape. It may be helpful to think of them as ghosts, metaphorically speaking, of course. Cooper is attempting to distort your path again. Keep searching.
Enemy targets on sensor.
I sense we are making progress. Keep searching. There. We have him. Cooper has broken the link. The meld can end. This ordeal has taxed me mentally, but I must continue the mission. I have learned that Cooper is in fluidic space, in an area that corresponds to the location known in our dimension as the Northwest Passage. We must travel there and enter fluidic space to confront Cooper once more. He is aboard a special command bioship that he cannot abandon. If we catch him in fluidic space, we can force a final confrontation. Please join me on the bridge. I must focus my concentration on regaining my strength. I need you to enter our destination coordinates and make certain that there are no more surprises.
Voyager will join you in the Northwest Passage. We'll leave as soon as you've returned to your ship. We need to hurry if we want to catch Cooper.
This area of space was labeled by Commander Chakotay as the Northwest Passage. It is a corridor of space that the Borg avoid because of the high incidence of quantum singularities, which the Undine use as points of transit. Voyager encountered the passage in 2373, and Captain Janeway chose to use it to travel through Borg space. This precipitated our first contact with species 8472. We must locate a quantum singularity that will lead us into the correct area of fluidic space. My suspicion is that Cooper is using this region as a staging ground for the massed Undine fleet, and his command bioship will be there as well. Approach each singularity and check its quantum wave signature. When we find the correct one, we will pass through.
Shields have failed.
This passage will work. Quickly, we must go through the portal. We need to reach Cooper's command bioship. According to my scans, he is using a modified dreadnought as a control vessel. Intriguing. Cooper's bioship appears to have nerve clusters, gyri, and structures typically associated with brain matter. While most bioships are organic, they are not aware. Rather, they are biological tissue operated by the Undine as tools. Cooper's vessel is different. It is possible that the ship is self-aware. This would explain the increase in Cooper's telepathic abilities. Not only is his command bioship able to coordinate the entire Undine fleet, acting as a brain for the other ships, but it also amplifies his psionic power. We must gain access to the ship directly. We will need to temporarily disable its shielding mantle, so we can fire upon vulnerable sections to disable it.
You've come a long way, but as you can see, I am not unprepared for your arrival. This command bioship is unique. It is capable of coordinating an entire fleet of bioships. A fleet that will launch from the structure you see here. Even if you attack me, I suspect you will find the sheer power of my new fleet to be overwhelming.
Ship is
bioship is weakened. We must beam aboard and locate Cooper while it is possible.
We are close to Cooper's position, but the bioship is blocking transport in the area closest to the central nexus. We must find control nodes that will allow us to enter the nexus. As the ship is organic, we may be able to force it open by sending impulses through certain nerve endings, thereby causing a reflex reaction, much like a sneeze. The muscles controlling this passage will not release. We will need to find control. Cooper should be in the chamber just beyond this door. An intriguing notion. I shall make the attempt. You must protect me from Cooper and his soldiers while I concentrate on the mind meld. When you are ready, we shall proceed. The ship is resisting the meld. I must move to another neural cluster. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate.
Flanking damage detected.
You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. The ship is resisting the meld. I must move to another neural cluster. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate.
Personal shield losing power.
You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate.
What is happening? You did this!
My mind to your mind.
Communication link established.
Your thoughts to my thoughts.
The weak will perish. Why should we listen to the weak?
You will perish when the Iconians complete their purge. To the Iconians, you are weak.
We must survive.
When we fight one another, we are weak. United, we are strong.
No! Don't listen to him! We must see to our needs.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
The many must survive. We don't need them! The many will be strong. The strong will survive. They are weak. I will save us. You are weak. What? No! But together, we are strong. You will be repurposed. No!
The Bio-Dreadnought has no intention of entering our space. Now we must return to our ships before the Undine retreat to their own fortresses in fluidic space. There are no signs of Undine pursuit. Whatever the intent of the remaining Undine forces, it seems that they do not involve our dimension. As a Vulcan, I am not given to personal displays. Nonetheless, we have shared a deep connection. We will always carry a part of this experience with us. In a sense, you have become a portion of my mental defenses. Part of the ship and crew that define the most challenging aspects of my existence. Our shared effort has prevented another Undine invasion, and incidentally allowed me to retain my sanity. Your contributions are appreciated. I must advise Starfleet Command of these developments. I am sure we will speak again. Until then, I am confident that events in the Delta Quadrant are in capable hands. Live long and prosper.
With Cooper gone, the Undine won't have a leader pushing them toward war with our forces. I wonder why he was so set on this conflict. We still don't know exactly how long Cooper had been replaced by an Undine, or if the original Cooper is still alive. Perhaps this Undine saw something during his time among us that convinced him that the only way to secure the safety of his people was to destroy ours. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Remember the Xindi attack on Earth in the 22nd century? They were told by the Sphere Builders that they had to destroy Earth to save themselves. It turned out that Sphere Builders were using the Xindi as a tool in their own destructive plans. We know the Iconians have manipulated the Undine. Maybe they were the ones pushing Cooper to attack. Our first task in the Delta Quadrant is a familiar one, helping a species to find a new home. A group of Talaxians living in the Entaba system are ready to move to a new homeworld nearby. Admiral Tuvok and Voyager have gone ahead to their main asteroid base to begin the preparations for the transition. The Admiral's requested your presence as well. You two work well together. I recommend you take advantage of his expertise. There's no one who knows more about the Delta Quadrant than he does.
Voyager is under attack by the Kazon. Engines are offline, requesting assistance. Thank you for your assistance. We were en route to the Talaxian base when we were ambushed by the Kazon. The damage is relatively minor, but my crew will require time to make repairs. However, I have a personal request. The leader of the Talaxian colony served with me on Voyager. Would you be willing to take me there?
This base is populated by Talaxians. My shipmate from Voyager, Neelix, joined them before they moved to this location. The Talaxians have been looking for a new homeworld for quite some time, and now they have found one. The Alliance's history with the relocation of the Romulans will be invaluable in this process.
Starfleet! Oh, what a thrill! It's so wonderful to see someone from the Federation again. It's been so long, and I keep in touch with my friends, but subspace isn't the same, and listen to me, I'm rambling on. My name is Neelix, and I serve as Starfleet's ambassador to the Delta Quadrant. Before that, I spent 7 years on the USS Voyager with Captain Catherine Janeway. Admiral Janeway? Of course! She certainly earned that promotion. My link to the Alpha Quadrant wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be until the Janolan Dyson Sphere opened a path straight to the Delta Quadrant. Now we get all sorts of news, but yours is the first ship to visit. I may make a trip to Earth myself sometime, sample the cuisine, but that will have to wait until after the colonization. I barely have a minute to myself anymore. There's just so much to do. Oh, you've come to help. How wonderful! But of course, Starfleet's always pitching in to help out, aren't they? Why, in all my years as ambassador to the Delta Quadrant, I've done everything I could to uphold the good name of the Federation. I don't always have the resources to do more than diplomatic visits, but we try to help out anyone we can, whenever we can. There are Alcompan ships out there right now. Did you know that? My people are helping them explore the stars. Ow, where are my manners? You must be tired and thirsty after your long journey. Come to the colony. We'll fix you right up. But if I could impose on you just for a small favor first. The Kazon Nistrum have been giving us a lot of trouble lately. We've constructed some shield generators to protect the base, but the Kazon keep knocking them offline, and all my shuttles are prepping for the colonization. Could you reactivate the shields for us? Wonderful! Just fly to the generators and start the relaunch sequence. It will take them a few minutes to get up to full strength, but that shouldn't be a problem. After that, beam down to the colony. I'll start making some nicely old root stew for you. Thank you so much for your assistance. You may beam down to our base at your leisure. Oh, and speaking in my formal capacity as permanent ambassador, welcome to the Delta Quadrant.
It's so good to meet you in person. View screens are so impersonal, don't you think? May I shake your hand? If memory serves, that's how. Mr. Vulcan? Is that you, Tuvok?
Indeed. It is agreeable to see you again, Neelix.
What a wonderful surprise. Come, my friends, we have so much to discuss.
You look well, Neelix.
As do you. Family, children. Being here has changed me for the better.
Indeed. This colony is an improvement on your previous home.
Twice as large and completely updated. You should see the kitchen.
But you still seek a new homeworld?
Of course, children need sun and open skies. A place to put down roots. What was that? The operations bay? Dexter was in there! Dexter's trapped! Please, do something! Dex is a little dizzy, but she'll be fine. I have to stay with her, though. I'm afraid I must impose on your kindness again. Several of our systems were damaged in the attack, and I can't help fix them just now. Several of our systems are malfunctioning. Our communications, environmental controls, engineering, and the controls for the crane loading our ships all have been damaged. Thank you so much. Everything seems to be working properly now, and Dex is feeling much better. I need to take one final lap around the base and speak to a few people before we depart. Would you care to accompany me?
I need help loading this ship. Mannix was supposed to help me, but now I can't find him, and I can't reach him on internal comms. I know he hasn't left the station yet, though. Could you look around and tell him that his shift has started?
The lack of discipline among the Talaxians is alarming.
Greetings, friend. What can I do for you? Really,
I was scheduled to work now, but I traded shifts with Oxel so I could meet a friend who's returning from a long trading mission. Find Oxel. He should be able to help you.
I've known Menix for many years now. If he says he traded shifts, I believe him.
I don't believe we've met yet. I'm Oxel, and you must be one of Neelix's visitors from the Alpha Quadrant. It's a pleasure to meet you. That's right, but then I beat Drexa in a game of Kat is Kat, and she agreed to work the shift for me. You should find her.
Betting work shifts on a game of Caddis Cot is extremely unprofessional.
Hi there. I'm Drexa. I heard you helped save Dex's life. Those Kazon always bothering us. I wish they'd just find someplace else to go. Is there something I can do for you? Oh, yes, that's right. I worked his shift, though. Check the duty roster. It should all be there.
Drexa never worries about the details, but she's one of the nicest people I know.
Oh, it's you again. Did you find what you needed? Really? But I worked the shift that was in the duty roster.
Did you find Drexa? Oh, what a goof! I told her I traded shifts with Menix. At least I think I did. Does that mean both Menix and Drexa showed up for my shift?
Hey there! I talked to Oxel, and he told me what happened. Did you find Drexa? Oh, that explains it. I showed up for the shift a bit late, but Calyx said she already had enough workers and I could go back to my quarters. Normally, I would be happy to work, but my friend will be back any time now. That's why I traded shifts in the first place.
Did you find Menix? Sounds like quite a series of miscommunications. But I still need help here. What do you think I should do about it?
I need to scan the route we'll take to the colony. But the Kazon attack has damaged our astrometric system. All it will tell me is how far off I am from our target position. I feel like I'm taking shots in the dark. Would you be willing to help me? By adjusting the sensor array's pitch, up and down, and yaw, left and right, you can point the array at the target. By adjusting the force, you can change the distance the array examines. Be sure not to overshoot the target location. The array will be useless if that happens.
I can't thank you enough for your help. Dex is going to be fine. The doctor says she'll be up and around in no time.
I need to return to Voyager. Please escort the Talaxian fleet to New Talix. We can return to Voyager at your earliest convenience. The Talaxians have much to do.
Thank you for all you have done for the Talaxians. I believe that they will be a valuable ally to us in the days ahead. That would not have been possible without your assistance. I am confident we will see one another again. Until then, live long and prosper.
Our ships are ready to depart. Travel to the staging area to join us in our new adventure. Are you ready to depart for New Talax? Are you detecting the theta radiation spikes? Those levels have been normal and steady for weeks now. What could have happened? Theta radiation could mean only one thing, the Malon. They lack the technology to recycle antimatter waste, which has led them to develop an entire industry around dumping theta radiation in various areas. We can't survive on New Talax if the Malon are going to use it as their personal garbage dump.
Unknown vessel. This site is claimed by the Malon. Go find your own dump site. Why? I was here first. Besides, there's a neutron star near here that... Unknown vessel. Why? I was here first. Besides, there's a neutron star near here that makes this the perfect location for our needs. Finding another would be too expensive. Tell the Talaxians to find another planet. Enough! You've ruined me. Wrecked my ship. At least spare my life.
The Malon are gone, but the radiation is still around. Oh, what can we do? This would have been a perfect homeworld. But we can't live here if the radiation is going to infect the entire planet. Thank you so much for all of your help. You are a true friend to me and to the Talaxian people. Your crew will always be welcome on New Talax. And good luck in your voyages. I hope to see you again soon.
The Malons were causing problems? I'll make a note of that. Hopefully they'll just be a minor inconvenience. Admiral Janeway wasn't very impressed by them. Neelix has sent word that the migration of the Talaxians is going smoothly. We've sent several ships to ensure they're protected from any more Malon incursions. Our first venture into the Delta Quadrant appears to be a success.
Congratulations, Admiral.
We've received a distress call from the USS Callisto, which was on a research mission in a little explored area of the Delta Quadrant. We're not sure what happened to the Callisto, but we need someone to check it out. There are a lot of people on the Callisto, good Starfleet officers and researchers. Bring them home.
This is 7 of 9, part of a Federation research team assigned to the USS Callisto. My team and I were investigating this outpost when the defense systems activated and destroyed the ship. I am aware of your service record. Thank you for responding to our request for assistance. I was able to deactivate the outpost's defenses, but the system sent out an automated distress signal upon shutdown. It is logical to assume that someone will be arriving to investigate. Please transport my team and me to your ship. I will be of more assistance to you there. Long-range sensors are picking up inbound energy signatures. Voth ships. They must lay claim to this system.
Attention trespassing endotherms. You are trespassing in Fourth Aligned space. Surrender now, and we will allow you to live out the remainder of your lives on a prison world.
Warning, ship is under attack.
vessel. You have violated a Voth facility and will be...
Where are they going? It's not like the Voth to leave a battle they would have clearly won.
This is a general distress signal for any ships in range. This is the Teray homeworld. We are under attack by an unknown force of immense power. We require immediate assistance.
The Teray are a spacefaring culture that Voyager encountered in 2376. They claim ownership over the underspace, which are corridors through subspace that significantly shorten travel times here in the Delta Quadrant. Command has been attempting to contact them, without success. Access to the underspace would be a distinct advantage for our fleets. That is one possibility. To my knowledge, the Voth and Teray are not enemies. However, there is still much we do not know about the Delta Quadrant. We have arrived in the Teray system. The Voth ships are in combat, but they are not engaging Teray vessels. Their opposition does not conform to any known ship in the database.
Whoever these assailants are, their technology is exceptional. Even the Borg do not have ships such as these.
Warning, ship is under attack.
The Voth and whomever they are fighting are speaking on an open channel. We can listen to their communications.
Your defense of the Teray thieves will be your undoing.
The Teray and Voth have a long-standing allegiance. The Teray's exothermic nature makes them superior to the other feeble races of the Quadrant.
Then you will be loyal to the death.
The surface of the Teray homeworld is being devastated by the debris from the Voth vessels. The Teray do have a defense network of satellites and shields that is capable of protecting them, but the control network is offline. This was intentional. Their attackers deliberately targeted the area during the initial assault. There is a secondary command center on the outskirts of one of their major settlements. If we transport directly there, we will be able to restore the control network. The invaders attacked this facility, but they did not do significant structural damage. They were, however, able to take down the control network controlling the orbital defense grid. That defense grid is the only thing capable of stopping all of the debris from the battle in orbit from raining down on the planet. Small pieces will burn up in the atmosphere, and your ship's weapons can deal with some others, but a significant percentage will get through. Until that grid is operational, there will be widespread devastation. There was a firefight here. One of the Teray is injured, but his condition is stable. He may be able to give us more information about the invaders.
Thank you. My name is Bellis. You're from Starfleet, right? The ships emerged from the underspace, and they were too close for our defense grid to stop the launch of drop pods. In minutes, they had knocked out the grid controls, and we were defenseless. We barely had time to transmit a distress signal. The attackers were Vaadwaur. Voyager did indeed interact with one of our corridors, but instead of deleting the info as we requested and going on their way, they revived our greatest enemy. All of this destruction, every death, it's all Voyager's fault.
Impossible. It cannot be the Vaadwaur. I would know. This is all my fault. When we first encountered the Vaadwaur, they were in cryostasis. I foolishly awoke their leader in a moment of curiosity. I didn't know their history. They were conquerors, despots. The Vaadwaur used underspace to rule the Delta Quadrant for decades. It was only when the other races banded together that they were defeated. At the time we encountered them, when I awakened them, Captain Janeway said she probably would have done the same thing. But it wasn't her choice, it was mine. I am responsible. However, the Vaadwaur we encountered did not have a level of technology like what we face here. This is far beyond anything the Vaadwaur are capable of developing in such a short amount of time. My analysis remains unchanged. We need to restore functionality to the defense grid. There are 4 nodes located on the edge of this complex. We must restart these nodes and realign them to the central tower to re-establish the grid.
I'll go to the central tower and start the initialization sequence.
We had to ally ourselves with the Teray to escape the Vaadwaur. My analysis of this node is complete. Execute the following steps in the correct order. First, you must access the AI subroutine. Next, you must charge the capacitive reel. Finally, you must establish the satellite uplink. Connection reestablished. When Admiral Tuvok asked me to leave my post at the Daystrom Institute to assist the Callisto, I thought the probability of seeing Vaadwaur was statistically insignificant. I have completed my analysis. Complete the following steps in the correct order. First, you must launch the startup sequencers. Next, you must charge the capacitive. Finally, you must align the main relay. Whatever happens here, we must inform our superiors about the Vaadwaur threat. Uplink reinitialized. Analysis complete. First, you must access the AI subroutines. Next, you must update the... Finally, you must establish... Defense node online. When we first rescued the Vaudois, we thought we could be allies. I blame myself for the Vaudois' return. It was a door best left unopened. Complete these steps in the correct order to initialize and align the node. First, you must launch the startup sequencers. Next, you must update the defense protocols. Finally, you must align the main relay. Uplink established.
Starfleet, I need assistance at the central tower. Your team did an excellent job getting the defense nodes back online and realigned to the central hub here. The restart process will take some time, but the defense grid will be active in about 2 minutes. We'd be in good shape if the Vaudois hadn't launched more assault pods. These are mobile transporter pads used to bring more troops to the surface rapidly. I assume they're coming to stop us from restoring the defense grid.
The Teray took control of underspace after the Vaudois were defeated. Clearly the Vadwar object.
Personal shield losing power.
Vadwar reinforcements approaching.
Personal shield losing power. Flanking damage detected.
The Vadwar are relentless. Probability of our survival is slim.
Personal shield losing power. Flanking damage detected.
The Vadwar are tenacious fighters. We must be forced.
Personal shield losing power. Flanking damage detected. Flanking damage detected.
We can't keep this up forever!
What is that?
Personal shield losing power.
It is not odd. Voth reinforcements have entered orbit. These Vadwar do not want to do battle with an obviously superior force. While we did sustain great losses, we have made good on our agreement with the Teray. Bellas, we have restored your defense grid.
I'm not interested in petty squabbling about who did what. The grid is restored and we are safe. That's all that matters.
Seven of 9.
Admiral?
We detected the destruction of the Callisto. What?
It was your fault! Your ship invaded the Voth outpost! You woke the Vadwar!
Vadwar. Interesting. Starfleet intelligence did not consider them a threat. We believed their numbers were few and their technology outdated.
Then you were wrong! The Vaadwaur have returned, and no one is safe.
I see. 7. Voyager could use your expertise again. Will you return to the ship?
That would be acceptable.
Very well. We will take the other survivors from the Callisto as well. Thank you.
Voyager, 2 to beam up.
Thank you for assisting 7 and lending aid to the Touré. However, the discovery that our old foes, the Vaadwaur, have made such a leap in technology and are now threatening the entire quadrant is troubling.
Thank you. Without your help, my team and I may have been killed by the Voth. Now, however, I must turn my attention to the Vaadwaur. I am responsible for their return. I must assist in their defeat.
I've read Admiral Janeway's mission logs from Voyager. It would be troublesome enough to have the Vaadwaur return in force. They're an aggressive and difficult species. But if they have technology and forces that can defeat the Voth, this does not bode well. Are you familiar with Voyager's emergency medical hologram? He's quite unique, even for an old EMH Mark 1. Now he holds rank in Starfleet in his own right. We've received a message that the Doctor requires assistance to deal with a medical situation on an Ocampa freighter in the Shenda system. He's currently en route in one of Voyager's shuttles. Normally I'd send a medical vessel, but we've seen a spike in Vaadwaur attacks, and I want to make sure he has all the resources he'll need. Could you go to the Shenda system and assist the Doctor?
Pleased to meet you. I scanned your service record before your arrival. You've been in quite a few battles, haven't you? Ever stop to think about the strain you're putting on your medical crew before you charge into combat? Of course you don't. No captain ever does. We've been hailing this Ocampan freighter for some time, but we're not getting a response, and our sensors cannot penetrate their shields. Their initial distress signals indicated that they were suffering from Paranesti measles. I can treat it easily, if I can get onto the ship. Now that your ship is here, it should be trivial to board the vessel and assess the situation. Transport me aboard your vessel, and then my shuttle can return to Voyager. Excellent. Your ship has more powerful sensors than my shuttle.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Hold your fire. I am Gaul, leader of the Vaudois. Greetings. I am Gaul, leader of the Vaudois supremacy. I apologize for the overzealousness of my soldiers. This action was not authorized. I'm pleased to finally meet you. It appears your presence here in the Delta Quadrant has inadvertently caused some conflict between us. I would rather avoid any more unpleasantness. Would you be willing to meet with me face to face? That is understandable. Do you have a location in mind? There are not many areas of the Delta Quadrant where my people are not reviled.
Oh, what a wonderful surprise! Is there anything I can do for you? Diplomatic negotiations. I am Starfleet's ambassador to the Delta Quadrant. I would be more than happy to offer my services as mediator. As for the location, Dexa and most of our people are on New Talax now, but we still have the asteroid base in the Intaba system. It's mostly empty now, just a few cleanup crews, and the Kazon have been leaving it alone. It would be perfect.
Well, did you find a suitable location for our meeting? Talaxians. Are there still Talaxian communities? How odd. The site is agreeable. Send my ship the coordinates and I will meet you there.
I'm contacting the closest medical ship. They can investigate this further while we meet with Gaul. Imagine using a medical emergency as a trap. The Vaudois have no shame. I don't trust Gaul. He betrayed us on Vaudois Prime. He'll do it again.
It's good to see you again so soon. If I might make a suggestion, I would recommend only bringing 2 crew members with your away team. Gaul brought 4 aides. You'll have the doctor and myself, and bringing more of your crew down might look like you're trying to get an advantage on him. Gaul seems very touchy. Proper protocol will be important. Are you ready to beam down? It's so good to see... Doctor, it's been 30 years! You haven't aged a day!
Yes, it's good to see you too, Neelix.
We have a bit of time before we'll begin. We're giving the Vaudwar a fine Talaxian feast to help ease the tension. Doctor, you must tell me all you've been up to.
Oh, Neelix, I couldn't. Not with the Vaudwar here. But I suppose it is important that you hear about my many achievements since our last meeting. And my brilliant research was able to prove conclusively. Thus, I began my grand adventure into the challenge of writing Klingon opera.
Oh, well, Brax and I agreed to never mention the incident again. Well, at least not to Dexa.
Neelix, the Vaudwar have finished the appetizers and are waiting for you.
Oh, well, we had better get going. We can talk more later. Do you remember Chef Jolax from the last time you were here? He's the one that has been serving the Vaudwar their fabulous appetizers. Full bellies make for good conversation, I always say. He told me that Gaul is a little grumpy, but I'm sure you can handle him. Gaul is in the command room now, waiting for us. Jolax should be back soon to take everyone's orders for the main course.
Ah, at last. I must say your Talaxian friends are quite hospitable. But down to business. Our meeting is long overdue. As do I. My people are damaged, in crisis. We are already at war with the Kabali, and with you, giving your alliances support for them. Do you know why we fight the Kabali? Their world was once a Vaudwar colony, one of our largest. And there is still a large cache of stasis tubes on the planet. Those are my brothers and sisters being held hostage. The Kabali are stealing them, taking their very identities and transforming them. The Kabali would rather watch us die and use our corpses as fuel for their unnatural corruption. Is it wrong to fight against your own extinction? Don't we have a right to survive as well? There can be no peace. Not after what they've done. Are you suggesting we are weak? That we should just lay down and die for them? No, we will not. Do not try to pacify me. We will have our retribution. You have my offer. Abandon your alliance with the Kabali and support us, and we will be your strongest ally in the Quadrant. Peace. You know nothing of what it means to be Vaudwar. You need to understand. The Vaudwar have endured too much to make peace. Do you expect us to forget the destruction of our cities? The massacres of our people?
The food's almost ready. What would you all like for your main course?
You need to understand even the smallest fraction of our anger.
He's dead. I'm sorry.
Does that make you angry, Talaxian?
No. It makes me sad. For Jolex. And for you.
Then we are not done.
What the? Oh no.
Time only to save one group? I do not envy your choice. I would go with you, but I cannot leave Neelix alone. And time is of the essence. I'm afraid you'll have to go on without us.
No. I'm going. I can't sit by and let the Vaudouar kill my friends. I won't be a burden. I promise. I have to do this.
How do we choose who to save? We've saved the hostages, but they may be safer here. What about the people in logistics?
Doctor, you have to save them. These are my friends.
They are beyond my help now, Neelix. I'm sorry.
Then we can still save the others. We have to get to the shuttle in the cargo bay.
I've sent a signal to the remaining Talaxians to join us here as soon as possible. More Vaadwaur on the way! Defend the shuttle! More on the way. If I weren't a hologram, I'd be worried.
Enemy targets on sensors.
A large number of Vaadwaur are closing in. I'm afraid they may be too much for you to handle.
The Teray are here to assist. After this, our debt to you is repaid.
That's timely. Here come the Vaadwaur.
The Vaadwaur have been repelled. I would have words with you before you continue. Our help does not mean we are now allies. We are repaying a debt. Our ships are currently engaging the Vaadwaur fleet. It is unsafe for this shuttle to launch until they are defeated. We will return to our ships. I suggest you do the same. We will provide cover for your ship so it may drop shields to transport you.
I knew this meeting was a farce. The word Vaadwaur means fool in ancient Talaxian. Did you know that? You thought me a fool who would swallow your insults without comment. A fool who would blunder into the trap you set with the Teray. I am not. This has destroyed any chance of an accord between us. How disappointing. I had thought you would be a valuable ally. Now you are just another victim.
Voyager is here. We will not allow the Vaadwaur to escape.
Target shields have failed.
came to our aid when the Vaudouar attacked our homeworld. Now we have come to assist you. This discharges our obligation.
How could they do something so horrible? We're no threat to them. We'd done nothing but welcome them. And he killed my friends just to make a statement. I don't understand how anyone would be so callous. I don't blame you. I agreed to let the Vaudouar come here. I put my people in danger. This is my responsibility. I just never conceived that even the Vaudouar could be so treacherous. They double-crossed us on Voyager and tried to take the ship, but slaughtering innocent people. My time on Voyager changed me. I saw the best that people could be. I forgot, or wanted to forget, how evil they could be. With your permission, I'll lead the survivors back to New Talax. Then we can return with a security force to collect the dead.
I've been in contact with the USS Blackwell. They boarded the freighter in the Shenda system, but it was empty. It was all a ruse by the Vaudouar to lure us into that system. Everything was part of this play Gall wanted to perform, from the initial distress call to his intervention and offer to negotiate. And then he used a massacre to set his stage. That's the kind of man he is, and unless he's stopped, the entire quadrant may fall.
Gall has shown his true nature. I expected he was not dealing in good faith. But nevertheless, we had to make an attempt to find a peaceful solution to our problems with the Vaudouar. Now the war will continue. I grieve for all who have been lost, and for those who will fall before this conflict ends.
Senseless, meaningless death. I'll never understand. I hope Neelix and his people will be able to find some peace, and that Gall will answer for his crimes. And I hope our paths cross again, perhaps under better circumstances next time. With your permission, I'll return to Voyager.
Gall's actions were unconscionable. A senseless slaughter simply to make a point? And he wanted your sympathy. It's clear from your reports he had no intention of making peace, and that he would have twisted anything you said to meet his own agenda. He's a warmonger, and one that must be stopped. Peace with the Vaudouar will not be attained through Gall, but we'll keep looking for another way. Perhaps there's someone else out there who will be more reasonable. Are you familiar with the Cabali? Their homeworld is under attack by the Vaudouar, and they've requested our aid. I informed the head of their military that you would render them support on the ground. Their city has been under siege for months and cannot take much more. Please do what you can on Cabali Prime to stop the Vaudouar from destroying the Cabali.
Hello, I'm Captain Harry Kim, Starfleet's military liaison to Kabali Prime. The Vaadwaur have been assaulting the Kabali homeworld for months now. The Kabali are near a breaking point. They're not trained for war. Not like the Vaadwaur. The Alliance is here to stop the Vaadwaur and help the Kabali reclaim their home. You and several others will be leading our forces here. I'll be doing some investigations to help support the effort. Good luck.
I cannot tell you how good it is to have you here. Our people have been bombarded by the Vaadwaur for months. We cannot take much more of this. Before you go out to the field, I would ask your help within the city. Morale is at an all-time low, and our people could use a boost. We've been fighting this war for nearly a year now, and it's taking a toll on our troops. We are a peaceful people. This is the first time my soldiers have been exposed to death and destruction on this scale. They're demoralized and depressed, and I'm concerned about the long-term effects on their mental health. You have more experience than we do in battle. It would help if you could speak to our soldiers and share your insights. Please stop by the medbay. Some of the wounded there have asked to meet you.
You're part of the reinforcements that everyone was talking about. Please, you have to stop the Vaadwaur. We can't lose our home. Not after it took us so long to find it. My brother, my sister, they're both dead. I couldn't help them. You have to avenge them. Make their deaths worth something. Do what I could not. Please, stop the Vaadwaur. They want to take everything from us. Our temple, our home. I lived on the ships. I remember how hard our life was. The fear, the loneliness. We can't lose all we've built.
Thank you. It may not seem like much, but you've given those soldiers hope. We have several officers who were recently promoted, who might need some additional training, as well as several tasks that could use your presence. Would you mind taking one of them along to let him shadow you? There is so much we could learn from an experienced Starfleet officer. Our engineers have been trying to repair various devices that have been damaged in battle, but they are not experienced in these kinds of repairs. I've heard you're an expert engineer. Could you instruct our engineers on what they're doing wrong?
Reporting for duty, sir. It is a pleasure to watch you in action, sir. I have to admit, I am a bit perplexed. How are you able to fix our own technology when we can't? I see. Maybe I need to stop thinking of our technology as vastly different and begin studying the basics of how non-Kabali technology works. Sorry, just thinking out loud.
This is Captain Kim. I found some information for you. Permission to speak freely. Something isn't right here. I've done some investigating, and I don't think the Kabali are being entirely truthful with us. Not so much found as observed. The Vodwar clearly have superior firepower, tactics, and training, right? So why haven't they already wiped the Kabali out? They haven't hesitated to do so on other worlds. Sure, the Kabali have a shield around the capital, but they've been fighting the Vodwar for months now, and they're consistently losing troops and territory. I don't understand how the Vodwar haven't already taken the capital and finished this. Exactly. There has to be some other objective for the Vodwar here, and we need to find out what it is. We have to help the Kabali, and we can't do it if we're blinded. Understood. I won't let you down.
We can't stop until the Vodwar leave our world. Thank you for your assistance. Your presence here means we're not fighting alone anymore. That's more important than you know. My son is in the trenches now, and he could use your... Wait, what's that? The Vodwar are at the gates. You have to help us. My son Jitanian is commanding our forces outside the city. The Vodwar should never have reached us without so much as a warning from him. Something must have happened. Here is his position in the field. Take the nearby transporter and make your way to his command post. He may need assistance.
We're hanging in there, but we could use your help. I am, although I understand your confusion. Cabali reproduce by reanimating corpses and then integrating them into our society. We're assigned to existing family groups who teach and care for us. My first life was a long one. I don't remember it, however. I am Cabali, and my father is a source of inspiration and wisdom for me. My people do not reproduce in what you would consider a normal fashion. Instead, we use a genetic virus to alter the DNA of corpses from other species, reanimating them and transforming them into Cabali. We call this process rebirth. The process takes several months. Afterward, a new Cabali is assigned to a family group who will help him or her adjust to our culture and learn our language. All memories of the Constaya or past life are left behind. It can be difficult to accept this new life, and my father was of great help to me during this time. Some Cabali cannot accept the change and flee to search for their former lives. In these cases, it's our duty to find these lost souls and help them return. This is not something we normally discuss with outsiders. Suffice it to say, our ancestors experimented with forces they did not understand, and we were irrevocably changed by their folly. Faced with our own extinction, we found a way to survive. Now rebirth is the greatest gift we can give to the dead. Who wouldn't want a second chance at life? Yes, we have two problems. Our transporters in our forward base have stopped working, and troop morale is low after the last attack. Could you give us a hand by getting more soldiers back into the fight? I'm still looking into the issue with the transporters. Thank you. The soldiers have been beaten down so much I can barely keep them going, but they seem bolstered by the outside help. We still have no idea what's disrupting our transporters. Maybe you can find something on the Vodwar or from any of their crates in that area.
Captain Kim here. I need to speak to you as soon as you return to the city. I've been noticing something strange. When I first met the Kabali, they didn't seem to be a particularly religious people. Lindsay, Jedliah I mean, certainly didn't say anything about it. However, now, almost every Kabali I've met follows one creed. And there's a temple located just beyond the trenches. I've tried to find out more about their practices, but they keep telling me it's forbidden to share them with outsiders. Maybe, but I don't remember the Vodwar having a particular belief system either. This may not be much, but I'll continue my investigations. Maybe this one is a dead end.
I'm sorry, but could you return later? I believe you need a break. You've already done so much for us. We couldn't possibly ask you for more. Thank you again.
I've discovered a few interesting things that can help us with the Kabali. Do you have anything on your end? I've been thinking. Our only way to find out what the Kabali are hiding is through the Vodwar. We need to find out where they're focusing their attacks, and then why. That may be able to shed some light on the situation. Yes, my crew was looking into why our signal jammers weren't working, and we found that the Vodwar have comm beacons in all of their camps that act as a miniature subspace array. They can't be jammed because they're shielded, and they provide all the Vodwar need for controlled, secure communications. Ingenious, really. I wonder if the Starfleet Corps of Engineers could whip up something like that for us. If B'Elanna were here, I'm sure she could. Anyway, if we could place a trace on one of the Vodwar beacons... Exactly. Once we find out where the Vodwar plan to attack, we can reinforce the Kabali and find out what, if anything, they're hiding. There are 4 communications arrays in the trenches area. Planting a trace on each of them should allow the engineers on your ship to spy on the Vodwar. Your timing is impeccable. A large squad of armed Cabali just left, but they wouldn't say where they were going. Did you find any information? The temple. That must be where the Cabali are going.
Personal shield losing
We have...
power. Flanking damage detected.
temple is secure and the doors to... Looks like we've made it to the lowest level of the temple. Let's see what's in there.
Enemy targets on sensor. Personal shield losing power.
Thank you. If you are here, take this. It is the code.
That's a lot of stasis pods. Let's get a scan of these. We need to know more. I never imagined that we would find this. The Vaudois aren't fighting the Kabali over territory. They want their people back. This is why the Kabali stopped wandering. Everything they needed was here. It's not right. Some of the Vaadwaur in the stasis tubes could still be revived. The Vaadwaur are a dying race. Their methods may be extreme, but they're doing what they think they need to do to survive, just like the Gabali are. I'm glad you agree with me. We need to take this information to the General and get him to explain why they hid this from us. If the Gabali had been up front with us from the start, we could have figured out a better solution for this.
You've both returned.
General, we know about the temple. When were you going to tell us?
Secrecy protected our future, Captain.
How are we supposed to help you if you won't even tell us what the problem is?
That's enough, Captain.
Captain Dralier, you're late.
The Kazon delayed me. What's the situation? I see. Captain Kim, no matter our personal feelings, we must follow the Prime Directive. We are not here to change the Gabali culture. We are here to protect them.
We'll talk more about this in private. I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Before we begin, I must apologize on behalf of the Gabali people. We meant no harm in using the Vaadwaur. When we found the stasis...
We're hanging in there, but we could use your help. Yes, thank you for coming. One of our bases has been overrun. That facility contained research.
Thank goodness you're here. Excellent.